Okay, hello guys. So I had some technical difficulties. That's why I'm 1 minute and 15 seconds late. As it turns out, I thought I was gonna be able to put my phone on the side because the computer didn't work. The internet in my studio today decided to be completely shit because the Dropbox is syncing and updating and I can't stop it, or I tried to stop it, didn't help. Anyway, so welcome to the Q&A. It'll have to be a bit improvised today, but who cares? Yeah, I think it's all the more fun. Anyway, thank you for joining us. I just gotta get the questions up because we got a lot of questions and we might not be able to get through all of them in today's setting, so there might be another one coming up is all I'm saying. And yeah, by the way, I'm doing this for 30 minutes now until 7:30, and when I'm done, don't go away because Joacim will start right away. As soon as I'm done, he's gonna come online and answer some questions as well. So we'll be tandeming this thing for a little bit. Oh my god, my arm already hurts and I held the phone for like 30 seconds. Anyway, so let's see. Let's get to the questions. We got a lot of them, so I'm just gonna scroll down and see if I can find something. Okay, Joacim asks what I'm drinking, and I think he already knows, but now you do too. Coors Light. So anyway, here we go. I'm sorry. I don't have corona, thank God, but my throat is not perfect. Anyway, so let's see. This is from Instagram. Heavy Metal Thunder asks, what amps and pickups does Oscar generally use? I've always loved HammerFall's tone. Well, thank you, Heavy Metal Thunder. That's actually what we're trying to create every time we record something. But I've used a couple of different amps throughout my career, actually. Not that many, to be honest, but to get that great heavy metal sound and for Legacy of Kings, it was, and for Legacy of Kings and onwards, actually, for several years, I think, probably, yeah, until Infected, actually. So a span of like 6 albums or so, I used exclusively Angle Savage 120. That was the sound. I fell in love with it as soon as I heard it. This was in 1998 during the recording of Legacy of Kings when Fredrik Nordström, we were in the studio Fredman at that time, he got a, I don't remember exactly how it happened, but I think maybe he heard that I liked it and he borrowed an amp or something from this is a Swedish band called Dark Ain, or at least was back then. I'm not sure if they're still around, but we borrowed at least maybe an amp or at least a cabinet from them. This much I remember. Anyway, so we tried that out for Legacy of Kings, and for until Infected, that's the only amp I used. And from Infected on, we mainly used Marshalls. For the last couple of albums, yeah, everything has been mainly Marshalls. Not exclusively, but almost. And what we do afterwards is we make the a profile of this with a Kemper profiler, and then we play live. We do only Kempers, but because it's the original sound of the Marshalls, it's really nice. It's fucking amazing, actually. So everything works out really well. Thanks for liking the tone. I gotta do something. I have to hang on. I gotta get some tape or something because I can't hold my arm up. It's already hurting. But luckily I know where we keep the tape. At least I think I do. By the way, I am in the studio of HammerFall, studio and rehearsal room. We just got a delivery of of the equipment from the tour, which we're supposed to use in March, or at the end of March at the Scandinavian shows, which were postponed now. So we got all the stuff delivered back home now. Yeah, this is great. I have to do this, yeah. I have a microphone stand, which is going to serve as a camera stand today. So anyway, let's see if I can do this and answer the question at the same time. Sorry for being so unprepared, but I was actually out here for a while and I was prepared. I was planning on doing everything by the book, but yeah, sometimes things just doesn't work out as you want them to. Anyway, so let's go to Facebook. Sammy Guinea, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, asks, what favorite Star Wars movie and character do you have? Well, being a Star Wars nerd since I was a kid. Fuck. Sorry, there we go. Not optimal. I have definitely... Fuck this. So... Alright, fuck it. So I've been a Star Wars nerd since I was a child. I saw... The first movie I saw in the theaters was Return of the Jedi. And that I just got hooked instantly. I don't think I was old enough, or at least my mom wouldn't let me go to see the other ones before that. But since Return of the Jedi, I've been a Star Wars fan. And my favorite movie, it's probably, I mean, it's going to be difficult now because I remembered, like, the ones you watch when you're a kid, always the best ones, right? That's usually how it is. But when you have to remember that I grew up with Star Wars, and I didn't see all of them, but I was like, I was 12 years 11 years old when Return of the Jedi came out. So 80s was kind of my decade, and when Star Wars announced that they were actually coming back, we're talking about Episode 1 now, in 1999, or they didn't announce it then, but that's when it came out, the movie, The Phantom Menace. I was so psyched, I was so excited, and that Duel of the Fates music video that they did, if you haven't seen that one, I can recommend it if you want to have some goosebumps. The Duel of the Fates, it's like an official music video, and they've got clips from the movie, but from the making of mostly, and also from like when the orchestra recorded the music for it. That one alone made me look forward to The Phantom Menace more than anything, and I think I saw that movie 5 times in the theaters on my own, like by myself all of the time. But I just kept coming back because that was my absolute favorite movie so far. I do think that you can't really judge what, I mean, Star Wars is so unique. Like any other series, you can judge a movie separately, but with Star Wars, I think you have to judge the separate movies until after you have seen the trilogy, basically. So. Star Wars, no, Joacim, it's fine, thank you. With Star Wars, I think it's absolutely The Phantom Menace, because I was more excited for that one than I've been for any other movie in my whole life. Character, I mean Darth Vader, of course, but actually probably Darth Maul. Not my favorite character, maybe, but he's probably the favorite of the ones I've had the pleasure of watching. So anyway, I'm a bit long-winded here. I think whatever you say in English, I tend to be that way. I'll try to make things to speed things up a little bit. Okay, so Oscar, let's see. Adrian Mohan asks, Oscar, as a guitarist, do you have any good advice to give, as I'm trying to learn to play bass again after 11 years? I also try to learn to play guitar, but don't get me wrong, the bass is my jam. Okay, so First question, why? No, I'm kidding. Not that was an easy one, but I don't know. Just as advice for trying to learn something, and I think this goes for most things. Be patient and try to stay calm. I don't know how many times I tried to play something and my brain wanted to play it, and my brain knew how to play it. My fingers didn't sort of obey. I threw the guitar away, and I was just lucky it landed on the bed. Usually, this has happened a lot. So try to stay calm, basically, and just play the stuff you like. I mean, that's the best way to get better, because then it doesn't feel like you're practicing, and it just feels like you're having fun. Let's see where else. Okay. Lalo Ferenci. I don't know how to pronounce that. It sounds Hungarian, so I'm sorry for all the mispronouncing with all the names in case I make a mistake. It's just the Instagram handle. How are you staying in top physical condition now that most of us are locked indoors and gyms are closed? Well, funny you should ask. No, the thing is, gyms are closed and I don't want to go to it anyway right now. So I have this, let's see, like a cross trainer, an elliptical thing that Joacim gave me when he moved, when he sold his house 5 years ago. And I have this one. It's pretty good for training. So that's what I do generally now, and hopefully we won't be on lockdown for that long, a couple of weeks, and I think we should manage to get through that. Let's see, where are we? Okay, this one we did. As a guitarist, this is Facebook, and Skartharos Ekr. Not sure what that is, if that's a real name. Sometimes you don't know. It might be a real name, but sometimes it's just a thing that people like. So, but Skartharos Ekr asks, Oscar, as a guitarist, partner of both lead guitarists the band have had, what could you tell about your experience playing with both Stefan and Pontus, referring to what you feel every one of them by their own style has given and still give to the HF sound? It's an interesting question. Very good one, actually. I'm just going to have a sip. So, well, let's start with Stefan because he was the earliest one, the first one. I mean, I played with Stefan for 10 years. 10 formative years, I have to say. This goes for both of them. They've always been so much better guitar players than I am. I mean, that's just a fact. And that's it feels very comfortable to me to know that I have somebody like that to sort of have my back basically when we play. And that goes for both of them, of course. With Stefan, we grew up together in a different way. When we released Glory to the Brave, and just right after that, Stefan became a member of HammerFall. We had sort of this was we experienced everything together in a way, and it was brilliant. I love Stefan. I really miss him. I think he's a superb guitar player, and he was perfect for that period. And I had a lot of great memories from him. But once Pontus came aboard, Pontus sort of taught me a lot. You know, I maybe because I was mature enough to ask for it. With Stefan, I didn't really ask, or whenever I asked, I didn't take his advice seriously. Probably. It was too big of a task for me to get better. But with Pontus, I felt more comfortable. I think probably because I was more mature at that point, and also because Pontus was more maybe he was maybe easier to talk with about these things, because Stefan and I were we were on It's very difficult to explain. I mean, it's not something bad. It's just that we were on a different level as persons. Whereas with Pontus, he came into the band when we were already established. I think that's the best way of putting it. And so, but with actually now the last couple of years, I've learned a lot, and I have gotten a lot better in my mid-40s, believe it or not, which is unbelievable. At least if you would have asked me 10 years ago or 20 years ago, I would never have expected that. But I'm very happy to have been, and this is a bit like I never pushed myself back then, really, not in the same way like with Stefan. I could always rely on him doing that stuff, and I didn't have to sort of get better. With Pontus, I felt like I wanted to, and that's probably the maturity, like when you realize that, okay, then maybe this has got to change after 15 years or whatever. Well, nowadays I'm actually been actively trying to get better at playing guitar, and Pontus has helped me a lot with that. And also with the songs we have live, like some of the solos are quite difficult for me, and I have to practice a lot before every tour, and I have to warm up before every show and stuff. And that has actually helped me a lot to get better, of course. I mean, not actually, it has helped me, and that's the way it is, And I like to disguise practice as something. If I just sit down and say, I'm going to practice on this, I'll never do it. It's just no fun, But if I sit down and say, let's play this for fun, and I'll get better while doing it, that's a secret for me anyway. So anyway, I'll try to be quicker with the answers here, because we got like a ton of questions. Actually, we might have to do this again, but never mind. Carl Johan Norgren asks, when recording your biggest hits like Hearts on Fire, Renegade, Last Man Standing, etc., what was your thoughts writing those songs? What was the idea behind them? What did you think about them then, and what do you think about them now? Well, all these three songs that Carl Johan mentions are songs that we have played on virtually every show since they were recorded and released and incorporated into the set. I think at least Hearts on Fire and Last Man Standing are songs that we will never ever put down. And maybe Renegade too, I probably, right? It's difficult to say what the future holds, but like all these three represent three different eras or three different attitudes, I would say, as songwriters. I mean, with Renegade, we were still very green. We tried to do our best and try to just write songs. We didn't really think about the big picture that much. With Hearts on Fire, I think for me, I started to think about the big picture, like the whole album kind of thing. And Last Man Standing was a bit different because that was not part of an album. It was it was part of an album, but not a full-length album, but part of a best of album, the Steel Meets Steel 10th anniversary thing. And so that was that one and one other new track. Everything else was like a best of album. But so that was a different period. And also I think for me anyway, all this comes down to what kind of what period you have in life. Where are you in life, basically? And with Last Man Standing was a difficult period. That's why it's a bit darker, maybe, I guess. And with Hearts on Fire and especially Renegade, we were just pedal to the metal kind of stuff. And I think Joacim can talk about this more, like what he thought about writing the lyrics to the songs, because I'm going to save some for that if he wants to do this. Otherwise, we'll do it again. Which songs are your personal favorites? Oh, that's so difficult, It all, like, sometimes you're really, really happy with a song, and then you record it for the album and it turns out great, but it doesn't go into the set list, and then it's sort of largely forgotten. And we have some songs over the years. Almost every album has one or two songs like that, and I personally I hate that. I really hate working so hard and feeling so strong about a song, and then it just goes on to the album and then lost forever, basically. And that's difficult. It's difficult to deal with when you have strong feelings about a song like that. But like personal favorites, I've got a couple, of course, and I'm gonna exclude all the songs that we do play live because they were kind of obvious that we like those, and that we think they're very strong. If I'm just off the top of my head right now, one of the songs that I'm the most like when I listen to it still, like listen back to it now, it's still like I feel like this is a really good one. It's the Twilight Princess from Built to Last, and which one was it? Oh yes, sorry. Yeah, now I remember. Life Is Now, of course, from No Sacrifice, No Victory. Those two songs, I think, really stand out in a way, and this is for me personally, of course, but I really, they are special to me, basically. So Vali Bala asks, what's your relationship to the other metal bands from Gothenburg? Do you have a favorite band to hang out with on tour or at festivals? And also, does your arm still hurt? I'm guessing, are we talking about my arm from the motorcycle accident? And yeah, it hurts sometimes. I've got a lot of metal in here, in the arm. You can see it doesn't come off great on the camera, but anyway, I got a lot of metal inside the arm still, and that metal is, I think, shifting a little bit, and I can feel it sometimes. There are things I can't do, like these arm drags when you hold on to something and just drag yourself up. I can do maybe 3 of them, then it hurts like fucking crazy in my elbow, and that's because I don't know. It's because I have some metal in there. But anyway, relationship to the other metal bands, I think generally, I mean, it depends on what bands you're talking about, but a lot of bands from Gothenburg, they're like, if we're talking about At the Gates or Dark Tranquillity or In Flames, for example, these are bands that I grew up with. Like, we were teenagers when we met the first time and hung out and supported each other and stuff. So I think our relationship with those bands are really, really good still. Like, that's the thing with when we grew up, people were excited for one another. It was never a competition, like if we were playing with the band I was playing in at that time was called Desecrator or Ceremonial Oath, same band, but we changed our name after a while. But when we were playing, we had Tompa or Michael or whoever in the front row headbanging and singing along, and when Grotesque, which was a band that Tompa and a couple of other guys had before At the Gates, when they were playing, I was in the front rows because Grotesque is one of my favorite death metal acts of all time, and we were just loving everything and hanging out, and I think that it was just a big circle of friendship, and I think that's very important for how people turn out. Like there was no jealousy, no competition. Of course, you wanted to make it yourself, but you were always happy if anybody else did. So, and we're still on the same. I mean, now this is 30 years later. So of course people are older and wiser and don't have any resentment. I don't hope so anyway. I mean, certainly don't have any resentment towards anybody. But like favorite bands to hang out with on festivals, of course, it's always fun when you meet people Of course, the In Flames guys are hilarious to hang out with. I love those guys. Basically anybody, to be honest. It doesn't really matter. But some people better than others, I think. But we don't have I that's what I like about this metal scene. It's just a big family, basically. All right, so let's see okay, 5 minutes to go. It feels like I've been doing this for 10 seconds. All right, let's see. Let's go to Instagram. How has age and experience affected this? Oh, sorry. The Lone Hammer of Justice 666 writes, how has age and experience affected the songwriting process? As your technical chops and confidence as live studio musicians has grown, what piece of advice would you give to your younger selves? Just keep doing what you're doing. that would be the advice that I'm doing, that I would give. Just follow your heart. You know, that's how I've done everything my whole life. I mean, of course, you can't have a life without thinking, oh, I could have done this and maybe that would have happened. But generally, I don't think you should have any regrets. I think regrets are just useless. You know, you made the choices you did, and you just live with it. And the faster you can come to terms with that, the better for everybody. I think so. Just my advice would be to just do what comes natural and keep plowing forward and trailblazing. That's basically what I would say to my younger self. As far as confidence and stuff, of course, you learn things. I mean, you would be an idiot if you didn't learn anything throughout a 20+ year career. And I've learned what suits me in a studio, like how I want to record albums, because I don't like to concentrate for that much time in a row. I've always had a problem focusing like for 8 hours in a row. It's never worked really well for me. I'm good for a couple of hours maybe, and then I have to take a break. That I don't know why, but that's always been my main drawback basically. So what we do now, instead of what we did before, was record all the drums, all the bass, all one of the guitars, all the second guitars, and then we went up to the vocals. And now we mix up guitars and bass a lot. So you basically have to be on point for 2-3 hours every day, and then you can relax and help the others record. And that's how we do it nowadays. And I think that's something I wish I'd learned earlier. You know, I wish I'd been more insightful to my own limitations earlier. But you know, I guess that goes for a lot of things in life, right? So Joacim says go another 10 minutes. So okay, then that's what we'll do. We'll go to 7:40, and then he'll take over for as long as he wants to. But we'll be doing this again. Absolutely. We have so many questions that we're not going to be able to get to at this point. So we'll be back with another Q&A when time permits, I was going to say, but since countries are in lockdown right now, I guess we have all the time in the world, right? But we'll see when that happens, but soon, I promise. So anyway, on Twitter, we got a question from Jazamataz. It's for me, I see now. Yeah, you commented on my Zelda patch on my jacket. What's your favorite Zelda game? And what other video games do you all play? So, I wish this was planned, but it was actually a coincidence. But yeah, so my favorite Zelda game, it's depends on if you mean my favorite where I put the most hours in, because that's probably Breath of the Wild. But if you mean the one I enjoy the most, it might be Breath of the Wild as well, actually. But I'm leaning towards A Link to the Past for the Super Nintendo, because that's the one I got into Zelda with, so to speak. I mean, that's you know, it's a great game when we were playing it and then you were gone for a week, which I was in the middle of playing the game, and all I could think of, and I mean all I could think of, was how to get through to the next cave or next, whatever I was doing at that moment. I don't remember, but I was constantly thinking about the game and what I was going to do when I got back. So yeah, A Link to the Past, probably. Maybe also honorable mention goes to A Link Between Worlds, because that was Link to the Past times 10. I absolutely loved that one. That was for the Nintendo 3DS system that came out a couple of years ago, maybe 5 years ago or so. And I absolutely loved that one too. So those three, in no particular order: Breath of the Wild, Link to the Past, and A Link Between Worlds. And I got to show you something now, because we're in the studio, and I am a video game collector, and especially a Zelda collector. So check this out. got my Zelda collection. It's actually over here too. I don't know how much you can see of this, but it's almost all the Zelda games that I can find, and a couple of more too, actually. So anyway, let's let's get away from this one. Let's stick with Twitter. Hector de Leon asks, why haven't you ever played the song On the Edge of Honor? This from Crimson Thunder, I believe. It's your best song, he says. Okay, yeah. Well, yeah. I'm happy you like it. I don't think it's our best song. It's a song that I would love to play one day live. We'll see what happens. But that's the thing, you know. You release an album. I was talking about this before. You release an album, and preferably I'd like to play all of the songs, every song that we ever played. But it's obviously not possible. And that was one of those songs that just we played 5 others probably, or 6 others maybe even from that album. I don't know. I don't remember. But it's just, you have to pick some, and some win, some lose. That's just the way it is. So sorry about that, Hector. But at least you have it on an album you can listen to. That's good. Let's go back to Facebook, and Michael Littlejohn asks, Oscar, what first got you into playing guitar and writing music? Well, I was playing the trombone for 4 years, from 10 to 14, and at this, like during this period of time, you know the trombone, the one that go boop boop boop, that the big thing. I loved it. I thought it was really great, a lot of fun. But all the music that has a trombone in it, it's not what I was listening to. I was just listening to metal music, and it got to a point where I was just like, I want to play guitar, you know, because that's all my favorite bands were playing guitar or featuring guitars in their music, and nobody was featuring the trombone. So I asked my mom. She was actually the one who encouraged me. She wanted me to play some sort of instrument, and I played the trombone. I said, "Can I switch to guitar?" And she said, "Okay, sure, I'll help you." And she provided me with a guitar, provided me with a teacher for 2 weeks that I explained to her, I want to play rock or metal music. I want to play like this was in 85, 86 maybe. Yeah, 86 probably. And she said, "Oh, you got a teacher at school who's after hours. He sits like in the afternoons. He has a classroom where you can go and learn how to play metal music." But the only problem with that was that metal for him, or hard rock rather, actually, was Jimi Hendrix and Deep Purple and all that stuff, and I was so not into that. I wanted to play Accept and Judas Priest and Kiss and, you know, shit like from the 80s. You know, that's what I wanted to play. So I took a couple of lessons from him, maybe 2 weeks, and that's it. Then I said I'll learn myself. I taught myself. I'm self-taught, and that's why my technique may be weird for some classical schooled people, but it works, you know. And so anyway, that's the music I was listening to was what made me want to start playing guitar. And from once I started playing guitar, it was not a big reach to start writing songs on my own. I started playing guitar in '86, and 2 years later, I think we wrote our first song. So it went pretty quickly, but it basically was the bands I was listening to, like Accept and Judas Priest, for example. Those were very, very big influences in me picking up the guitar in the first place. Let's scroll down a little bit here, see what we have. What time is it? Oh, 5 minutes. Okay, let's see. We can do probably one more. Oh yeah, okay. Crizzy Winter Cans. I bet you that's not your real name. Will we ever hear a collaboration with Jesper Strömblad on a new studio song? It would be amazing. Hail to the best metal man in this fucking world. Love, guys. All right. Yeah, I mean, why not? Jesper has some things he needs to get through, but there's no reason that why we can't sit down and have fun and try to do something together again. Absolutely no reason, actually. Last time I spoke with him, we talked about doing this. We actually talk about this every time we speak, but. I definitely haven't ruled it out. It would be great to just sit down and just see what happens, basically. So we'll see. I can't say yes or no on this one, but time will tell. I guarantee you, if we do it, you'll know for sure. So, Thomas Persson asks, I really like the cover compilation Masterpieces from 2008, since I discovered lots of great underground bands right after that release. Is there a possibility to make a follow-up, Masterpieces 2? So this will have to be maybe the last one or next to last question, but let's see. So the thing with Masterpieces is people seem to think that was an album that we just went in and recorded 15 covers. That's not true. We started recording covers from the first album on, and the Masterpieces was a compilation of the songs we had recorded as covers for releases prior to this one, plus I believe 3 new covers that we recorded. So 3 songs were recorded for the album. The rest was just a compilation of songs that we had recorded over our career. But I'm glad that you discover new bands from it. That was very much part of our strategy, that we wanted to shine the light on bands that had influenced us, such as Stormwitch or Warlord or Picture, that maybe most people nowadays or in those times did not know about. I mean, obviously people know about Europe, for sure, and Kiss and whatever else is on there. But these underground bands, as you call them, I mean, they're no underground bands. They are as important to me or to us as any of the big bands are. But I totally see what you mean, and that's great that you discovered those bands, and I'm really happy about that. It's part of the legacy of HammerFall, part of the reason why we did it, and part of the reason why we're here. So great, that's really, really great. So this might be the last one. Yes, last question now. The question is, who shall we choose? I don't know. Let's just pick one. Okay, Luis Fernando Ribeiro, to stay on the cover theme here. He asks, have you considered playing some ABBA cover? No, we haven't actually. At least I don't think we have ever even talked about that. There are a lot of great songs that you could do in a cover or like a metal version of an ABBA song but in my opinion, the best versions of ABBA songs have already been made. Apart from the original, the best covers versions of ABBA songs have already been made by Advance, the German metal band from 2000s, I'd say, like 2000 till 2010 or something. I'm not sure, they might still actually exist, but they recorded some stuff in the mid 2000s or early 2000s. They recorded SOS, The Winner Takes It All, and Money, I think. And this was with Oliver Hartman on vocals. And I don't know, it's just listening to those are some of the best cover songs that I've ever heard from any band of any song ever, and I don't think it would be impossible to top those. On the other hand, we have Joacim Kans on vocals, so who knows? All right, now I see the clock is ticking, or rather, it's already time's up rather, and now I will turn over to Joacim. So I will log off here. I know he's watching, so he knows to go online right after I'm done, which will be in 10 seconds. So thank you everybody for asking questions and listening, and we will be back with another one after this. Well, he'll take care of all of that. So without further ado, here's Joacim Kans. Thank you very much. Take care, guys.